Welcome to Turning Tuesday. This week I am turning a piece of tiger myrtle from Richard Raffan, and this piece he cut up about 11 months ago on one of his videos, about the 11-minute 31-second. How I came to have this piece of wood is he released a 4-way video that he said the video had been corrupt, so he had to turn another project. So I emailed him and had a chat and offered to come over and see if we could recover it. We were able to go through and make sure that exported fine. He was able to upload it and get that video back out into the public. So that was fantastic and a great turnaround. Now, as he gifted this to me, I have a moral obligation that I want to gift it back out to other people. So this came in with enough to make a few pens as well as a little bowl that I did just before Christmas. Now I've got an elbow cam there, apologies. So the plan for this pen is I'm about to arrive in South Australia and hopefully have a coffee with Sid's Repurposing. And that's for the weekend's event of Turn South Australia, TurnSA, which is an annual event that happens on the middle of August. And yeah, I'm looking forward to that. Apparently we've got 47-ish people attending as turners or woodworkers of some sort. So that's going to be a lot of fun, and it'll be cool to see what everyone's been up to. Now, part of the obligation of turning up to a turning event like this is bringing something for raffles or door prizes or gifting or something. And so as this was a gift to me, I am gifting that back to TurnSA, and they can do with it as they will, because yeah, I want to help the other turners and see what we can get out there into the turning community, or anyone that turns up to see what's going on the weekend, because there is an open day where the general public is allowed to come and watch what we're up to. So that happens on the weekend, and I believe there's raffles that run throughout, so it may end up in the hands of someone else, but all the proceeds will end up back in the coffers for TurnSA, which means next year there'll be some additional bonuses. So this pen is going to end up somewhere in the mix of either a gift to someone or in the raffle itself for the general public. So I'm really enjoying this, and I've really enjoyed the way this tiger myrtle has turned. The way it's coming off that skew is absolutely gorgeous. It's getting such a nice finish. And I did notice there was some darker patch swirling, and I was like, I'm going to stop and have a quick look here, because it did have me a little concerned. Not overly concerned, just a little concerned. Just whether the epoxy that I used to put the brass barrel in or not had soaked through the wood and destroyed it. And I'll discuss it when I point it out as to what it actually is. And just using that skew as a negative rake scraper. I think we're going to stop it here and have a look. What I'd noticed was just there, when I rubbed my finger over, there was a knot. So it wasn't actually a darker patch, it was a knot. It is filled from when I put the brass barrel in, however, it didn't leak out. It didn't soak into the wood, and what I'm noticing is actually the chatoyance while it's spinning, because something weird has happened. That dark patch has the staining as the tiger myrtle, and around that knot it has actually made some beautiful figure. So this pen does have a little bit of chatoyance, and it actually shines quite nice. It's almost a spiral that goes the whole way down the pen. As you turn it, you see it get lit up the whole way. It's quite mesmerizing just sitting there playing with it in the sun. It's an absolutely beautiful piece of wood, and I really do thank Richard for allowing me to turn it. As you can see here, I am using that as a negative rake. It's a little tilted up, so borderline scraping. It's not leaving the perfect finish. I'm just trying to refine the shape. And I'll come back with some finishing cuts after. Now, I'm not a fan of this super zoomed in camera. I think going to the slightly wider one, because this is very, very noisy. I'm not really enjoying the camera quality on that one. GoPro, as always, is a solid, reliable camera. That's the one we've got above. I've got my phone, which has 3 different lenses on it that I use to zoom in. But I went ultra zoomed in instead of a little bit out. And what I'm here is just using the tip of the tool, trying to scrape in and align it to those bushings so that it gets a really nice finish on it. So when this pen got pushed together, the piece of wood is perfectly balanced and it came out absolutely stunning. Beautiful pen, and I'm very proud of it. Just trying to blend that slope in because it did have a bit more of a bulbous shape. Blending it in and tapering it along the whole shaft. And I flip the tool around and I do the same on the other side. Get those shavings out of the way, and I think we're ready for sanding. I've just identified that knot, and I'm like, I hope that stays. So yes, I am now up to sanding. And I decided, because I got such nice clean cuts on the piece of wood, I decided to start with 500 instead of, not 500, jeez, that's way too high. Let's go 150 instead. So instead of starting with 80, I went straight up to 150 and 240, 320, and I think 320 to 400 and 600. Yeah, that's the one. What I'm doing here is applying some Triple E, so it's a U-Butte Aussie. I think it's a paste abrasive, so it's like a sanding wax type thing, but it's absolutely stunning. And if you do the pens up to 600 or even higher, the shine you get off it, it's just ridiculous. And so you apply it by hand, and then you turn the lathe on to make sure you remove any excess. And now with the purple rag, I am applying some Shallow Wax Glow. And this is what really made the Chatoyance pop. So the Shallow Wax Glow is designed to make Chatoyance really pop, or figure really stand out. And in this case, it's just come out stunning. I'm loving the dark orange there, and it's just absolutely gorgeous. Yes, this is 100% a natural wood. It is Tasmanian Tiger Myrtle, and I'm still a Butterfingers. Now I noticed there was a little bit of lines from this microfiber cloth I was using, and so I'm just reapplying and giving it another buff in. So you apply by hand first, then you turn the lathe on slowly and make sure it's well distributed. Then you crank it up and generate some heat until you get a mirror finish, and then you step back and go, whoo, shiny. Looking at that absolutely gorgeous tiger shape. Oh my god. And I can confirm it looks better in real life than it does on video. Now, here I'm trying to decide where I'm going to put the end piece. So what I want is that knot that I noticed earlier outside of the range of the clip so that it's not hidden under it, because I want that there's a little inclusion. Gently, gently press it in. Beautiful and snug, and now we assemble the internal mechanisms. So this pen is the Executive Sierra Australiana. So it's got kangaroos around the rim of the front tip, and I think that's very fitting for an Australian piece of wood. This pen's a loose fit, and you put the pen cartridge or refill inside, you screw it all down, and then you just insert the front by hand. It is a loose fit, and the pen itself is captured inside that front. And you just twist the front or the entire back and get it to come out. So we'll step in some photos here, and it's absolutely stunning. Once again, thank you very much, Richard, and I hope you've enjoyed.